Welcome to the Virtual Antics, your go-to podcast for digital entrepreneurs, powered by Nadora.org and NG Virtual Assistant. We're here to guide you through every aspect of business, from networking to lead generation and so much more. Get ready to thrive in the virtual world with expert insights and our all-in-one solution, Nadora, where creating a digital business becomes a breeze. Let's dive in and revolutionize your business journey together. Welcome back to the Virtual Antics Podcast. I'm your host, Natalie Guzman, and today I have the fantastic Nate Javier with us, who is a really cool guy. He's a magician and an escape room artist. Like, this is so cool. Welcome, Nate. How are you?
Thanks for having me. I'm good. I'm hanging out.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit how you got into, both these professions. They're really cool and really interesting.
Of course. So when I was little, my brother was being taken care of, and I would watch World's Greatest Magic live from Las Vegas on TV. Eventually, I got so involved in the show that I would take a VCR tape, and for those who don't know, VCR tape's like a brick in a DVD put together or a Blu-ray put together, but you had to manually rewind it. But I would record these episodes, and the grand illusions were cool, I guess. The close-up stuff was really where it was at, but it wasn't until The Amazing Jonathan came on. It was like 30 seconds after a commercial break. He put pantyhose over his head and stuck a red straw up his nose and pulled it out of his mouth. And I'm like, that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. And so it just, from there, snowballed. I started figuring everything out on my own. And that's where I ended up with magic. It took over.
Man, that is
Uh,
super cool.
yeah, it was crazy going from in high school, getting pulled out of class to go do performances for rallies and then school events and then booking some corporate shows and moving forward. Right now, my specialty is mentalism, which is like mind reading and predicting the future, things like that, mixed with some geek magic, like hammering a 6-inch nail into my nose.
That's
And
crazy. I
right?
absolutely love it. I love magic and magicians. I was never the one that wanted to get into it, but I'll go to a magic show any day of the week. And it's just so cool because all the energy it brings to it, the fun, the smiles, the laughter, it's like all really good energy and good vibes. Such a cool thing to see. I know my daughter, when she first saw, magician and what they do. It was just something very simple, like the coin behind the ear, I think it was, and like pulling a coin out from behind her ear, and she was just so happy and the joy on her face. I was like, that's the coolest thing. That's so simple. But I love it. I love that you got into this. You made it a whole business. Now, how'd you get into the whole escape artist thing? Because that's really cool.
So it's with escape rooms, and it was a while back. An ex-girlfriend of mine took me to an escape room because she knew how much I enjoy like puzzles or breaking things down analytically. We didn't escape because half of the room was broken, but from there, obviously, I had to do another one, and then another one, and now I'm 168 rooms in, so not that many yet, but I fell in love with the idea of immersive storytelling and getting people into these unknown worlds and then letting them use a different part of their brain to almost like Scooby Doo their way out of it. And I decided, like, okay, well, maybe I can start designing some puzzles. Okay, maybe I can start designing some rooms. And I started cold calling and cold emailing some companies. And I've had the opportunity to work with them on their games as well for brick and mortar shops. I've also designed mobile escape rooms and then also worked with non-relevant companies, so people who aren't in the escape room industry, on interesting marketing campaigns using like cryptography, ARGs, things like that. So that whole world is just wonderful for me.
That's awesome. And yeah, I just realized I didn't even say escape room. I said escape, which is funny because there is, magicians that specialize in escape, right?
Escape.
Yeah, so that's kind of funny. So my bad on that. But did you ever think about doing escape magics into escape rooms?
Actually, I've had my own stint with it. I've
Okay.
what's so fun is because I'm self-taught, I had to learn all sorts of disciplines in magic.
Yeah.
Escapology was one of them, and so I've done like chain escapes, a rope escape, straight jacket. I have a fun picture of me, you know, tied up in one. But it just doesn't fit my character, or it doesn't also pack small, so I prefer to stick with the other stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense because like in business, I know I'm always trying different things. Like I had a whole nother business that was a marketing agency. It was not me, did not fit my personality, my goals, what I like, but I tried it, right? Because I was doing a lot of things in a similar realm. I think that's really important. Sometimes we have to try going different avenues and then we kind of discover, what works for us or what doesn't. So you're into, you said it's, correct me if I'm wrong. You said is it mental magic or what is it called?
Yeah, mentalism, mental
Okay,
magic, same
mentalist.
thing.
Awesome. I kind of like mental magic. I kind of want a shirt that says that, like CEO of Mental Magic. That'd be a cool shirt. But
We're
um,
gonna coin it right now. Just
yes, yes. We're gonna go into business together, Nate, and we're gonna have magic shirts. That sounds amazing.
let's
Um,
do it.
we should. I have so many, man. I could get all punny and everything. But so that's really cool because you're kind of messing with people's minds, which I feel like I do as a CEO sometimes, especially when I do discovery calls. I feel like I use mentalism sometimes because that's kind of what we're doing, right? We're trying to make them see something how we want them to see it. Is that the kind of basis of mentalism?
It kind of is. It's a lot of social engineering, which is kind of like what both of us could specialize in. It's the idea of convincing somebody to do something else based on their own free will. Sure, with mentalism, there are tricks involved with it all, but at the same time, you have to be able to read your audience, bring them up, and bring up the right person for the right effect. And I'm sure with networking calls and things like that, it's the exact same thing.
Yeah, I think it's a discovery call, for those that don't know, or is when you have leads and you want to convert them into customers. It's actually one of the most crucial calls you will ever have in your business because that makes or break you as a entrepreneur, in your business. And I have gotten really, really good at it. My closing rate is 92%, which is
Wow.
insane. Yeah, usually they say you have to higher your prices. I did that and it still kept at 92%. Um, so I love it. And I love the idea of, telling a story or showing someone a certain way of things to try to get their mindset to shift. So I always feel like, that's me and that I'm the mentalist in that case, which is so funny. Do you have like a really cool story or something, maybe like something that you had to overcome, whether it be when you were a magician or with the escape room artist?
I think something that's very similar to both is the idea of not just a discovery call, but also it's the concept of cold calling and cold emailing. That's one of the toughest things out there for anybody to do. And it rocks you from the inside because you're like, oh, I really don't want to reach out to somebody like that. I don't know how they're going to react at first, and blah blah blah. Like you start making excuses because you're trying to talk to a complete stranger. Um, I remember there was one cold call that or cold email that I sent. I knew that Google here at the LA offices was looking for some big entertainment for their corporate event. This was a few years ago, but I knew that they were gearing up for something big. I knew they were excited about it. And so I gave them a call, nothing. Then I sent an email to 7 different people on their upper staff at the LA offices, and I got a hit. Scheduled a phone call, did it whatever I could, and it only took 7 seconds of courage or 20 seconds of courage and just went forward with it. And all of a sudden, I am driving up to the LA offices for Google, getting ready to perform for about 700 people. It was amazing.
That's amazing. So not only did you have to get good at a skill, but you also had to get good at business, which is that lead generation, the sales,
Hmm.
the hustle portion of it. And I know a lot of people hate the hustle culture word, but I feel like it's such an important part of business because that's where, your high energy, your drive comes from. And it,
Hmm.
it doesn't mean you have to be in the hustle mode forever, but I think until you get that client, and it's all worth it at the end. That's why I actually love the word hustle. It's just that brief period where you're like, I'm gonna email all these people until one of them responds to me.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I have a hurricane. I have a hurricane coming, so my phone just beeps. So I will edit
Well,
that.
that's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm about to get hit by a category 3. So Kelsey, if you're listening, can you edit out my hurricane beep? Thank you. So back to it. Yeah, so I think that's really cool, that you had you also had to learn about business. So where that's like cold outreach and you said the emails. What
Hmm.
other things did you have to learn in business to really, get clients and then support and keep relationships with those clients as well?
I think the important thing to understand is, especially as a performer, people think, oh, your job is just to go up and play, but they don't understand. Number one, you have to find a specialty. So I'm not kid friendly. I perform only for corporate audiences and red carpet events, exclusive, top notch people. Because a lot of what I do is very intellectual, it's very involved with others. And you know what? If I'm doing kids' birthday parties, I'm going to stay at a certain level and I want to be up here. The other thing about being a performer is we have to be everything. We are an entire C suite stuck into one person. We have to learn our own marketing. We have to learn our own lead gens. We have to understand accounting and different types of contracts. So we have to be able to throw all these things together for the back end work on top of becoming, the best at what our skill set is in the performance space. Escape rooms, it's kind of the same thing, except for you find another business to kind of take over. So that's where B2B is. I guess performing for my, at least my specialty is also B2B. Uh, but people just don't often understand that ready to go YouTube channel or Instagram. You have to understand where ad space goes and how to best kind of what your target audience is going to be searching for when you want to show up in search results if you're going to go that route, or how to make yourself have that presence.
Man, that's super cool. Yeah, and I think a lot of people, like you said, they don't realize it. They only get to see you doing what you're really good at. They don't, with your magic and everything, but they don't get to see everything that goes on behind the scenes. And I feel like that's what a lot of people don't understand about business owners. They don't understand how much work goes into it, and especially where a lot of people I feel like don't see magic as a business, and it really is. I actually have a friend that built this huge like 3-story magic place for magicians to perform, and because he was a magician himself, and he went from just performing some shows to then doing corporate events and then building this huge empire. And so I think that's absolutely amazing, everything that you've learned and that you've pretty much done it yourself. You've been a one-man show, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's super cool. Awesome. Well, where are you located, by the way? We didn't really cover that.
I'm in Southern California, the Orange County area, so just south of LA.
Awesome.
So
And then do you travel for your shows as well?
I do. I have traveled across the nation, far and wide, doing stuff. I'm still waiting to get booked internationally. Hopefully that comes soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I travel a lot for what I do.
Oh, that's amazing. And then so you said that you're in a very niche area. So do you mostly do like a lot of corporate events because it is more adult?
Yes, that's where I tend to lay. From actual like corporate events, like they're doing a rally together. It's not just performing, but I've worked with like some C-suite executives to make them appear on stage, or just like in effect to make things more interesting.
Mhm.
Uh, that's been a lot of fun. So it's performing, consulting. That's kind of where I lay, just because it is a little more intellectual and more involved, and it needs people who are on top of things.
That is so cool. Now, where can we find you and learn more about you and what you do?
You can check out my Instagram. That's really where things are right now. My website is under reconstruction, but it will be posted there. You could find me at in Javier Magic. That's the letter in Javier Magic. Uh, that's where I'm starting to post more stuff again. I took a little break for just to gather content, but now it's getting pushed out. If anybody's interested, you can check out my YouTube channel. It doesn't really help business at all. It's more of a fun passion project, sharing the art of magic, as well as starting to see the insights of escape rooms as well. But really, there's only one reason why I want people there. It's because if we can get 1,500 subs by the end of 2023, we get to go on the lives all across all social media and shave my best friend, shave
Ooh.
off all his hair.
That's fun. We definitely want to be a part of that. So I'll make sure I put that in the show notes. But thank you so much, Nate, for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. And we'll see you guys next time.